I'm Sarah Martin, and I'm a speech-language pathologist with the Calgary Catholic School Division. I'm here today to talk to you about the process of articulation therapy, as well as give some general strategies on how you can help your child's articulation skills at home. So articulation refers to the production of speech sounds, so not what your child is saying, but how they're saying it. Some children need a bit of extra practice learning to say their specific sounds, or fixing errors that are no longer expected for their age. Parents can play a really important role in helping their child's articulation skills develop, and hopefully this video is helpful in showing you a couple of general strategies that you can incorporate into your daily routines that will help your child. So before you get started, the first step is to connect with your speech-language pathologist to find out what speech sound errors your child has, because although you might be hearing some errors in conversation, they might actually be appropriate for their age. And two, find out at what level your child is successful at saying those speech sounds at. So typically, in the process of articulation therapy, we start by saying those trickier sounds in the most simple context, so in isolation or on its own, and then we progress to the more difficult context, like in conversation. So for example, if a child is having difficulty saying the K sound, we often practice first in isolation. Once the child can say it in isolation, then we start practicing it at syllable level, ki, ka. Then we move on to words, king, kite, then in short phrases, sentences, and then finally in conversation. So once you know what speech sound error your child has, or errors, and I'm going to call those the target sounds in the video, and at what level they're successful at saying these sounds at, you can keep those in mind as you practice these general strategies. So number one, you can be a good speech model for your child. Children learn speech sounds from the people around them, so you can focus on speaking clearly to your child, loudly, slowly, and being at your child's level so that they can see how you're using your lips, your tongue, your teeth to make those speech sounds. Number two, you can model and emphasize those target sounds in your everyday speech. So in your own speech, you can slightly emphasize those speech sound or target errors, and you can do this in either daily conversation, in routines, or you can set aside a small part of your day to really focus on emphasizing those sounds. So for example, to go back to the K sound, you might say once a day when you're in your kitchen, you can talk about all the different K words you see. So open the cupboard, pass me the cup. When you're pouring a glass of milk, you can talk about how milk comes from a cow. This will allow your child to hear the correct pronunciation multiple times, which will help reinforce how they can say it too. Instead of forcing your child to correct the sound themselves, which might be frustrating and challenging for them, you can recast or say it back to them with the correct pronunciation. So for example, if the child says, "The tat is under the tar," you can recast and say, "The cat is under the car." What's the cat doing under the car? Another activity you can try is to help model the sound and emphasize the sound while you're reading a book. So for example, if your child is having difficulty with S-blends, so words like spot or star or skate, then you can really emphasize those sounds as you're reading the book when they come up. So for example, can you spot the pink caterpillar? There it is. Where is the squirrel hiding? I don't know, you hid really well for me. Oh, there it is. See how I slightly emphasize those sounds the same way that we talked about doing it in conversation? Books are great because they allow for lots and lots of models and lots of repetitions for your child to hear. So those are some general strategies that you can use at home. You can also do more structured intervention with the help of a speech-language pathologist. So your speech-language pathologist will be able to help you find picture cards that you can use for drill practice at home with your child. I made my own here, but you can also find some online, or your speech-language pathologist can help you identify some. And there's lots of different things you can do to practice those repetitions with the flashcards, whether it's a matching game or whether you feed a puppet the cards and the child says the word every time the puppet eats it. There's lots of different games, so if you need any help or any ideas, or if you have any questions at all, you can reach out to your speech-language pathologist and we'd be happy to help. Hope this was helpful. Bye.